Lamar Jackson's a former league MVP, unanimously voted league MVP, but he was unable to win the big one. And I mean the big one against the Steelers, the big one against the Chiefs, the big one in the playoffs. He just wasn't able. He wasn't his normal great self in those situations. And then finally, he actually, lo and behold, won a playoff game, but then ran into the Buffalo Bills. And by the way, beating the Titans is no small thing. Then ran into the Buffalo Bills, who have a guy who can throw the ball down the field accurately in Josh Allen. And when you look at what Lamar Jackson has, Stephen A., he's got a defense. They went out and got him help to improve the receiving situation. They brought in Sammy Watkins. They drafted Rashad Bateman. He has more dynamic receivers to throw the ball to now, and now he's won a playoff game. So I would say Lamar Jackson, who's done incredible things in the NFL since he's gotten to the NFL, you want to see improvement year over year. Won the playoff game. When you say deep playoff run, Molly, that's 2 wins. If you win 2 games, you're on a deep playoff run. And I think that's what the bar is now. Lamar Jackson's not a normal football player on an okay team. He is on a very strong Ravens team, especially defensively. And he is an outstanding, phenomenal football player who's already won league MVP. The standards for him are not the same as everyone else. He's got to make a playoff run this year.
Max Kellerman, who do you have as the best team in the AFC?
Chiefs.
Who's number 2? Who do you have?
Browns. Maybe the Browns.
I thought you said Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo, Cleveland, and if Lamar Jackson performs, Baltimore.
No, what I'm saying is, I thought you said Buffalo, but
okay, I can go with Buffalo.
Let's add the Browns, because if you was thinking about the Browns at number 2, it's safe to say you got them number 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're up there.
Okay. So my point to you is this: if I got 3 teams that's better than the Baltimore Ravens in my mind, why am I going to require that Lamar Jackson make a deep playoff run? Getting to the playoffs is one thing. Once you get there, to me, here's where the pressure lies on Lamar. We can't look at the team and say they lost because of you, because you can't throw the football. You understand? Because you can't accumulate passing yards. All you can do is run. No, we can't do that. But if Lamar goes out there and he's flinging that football, but nobody can stop Patrick Mahomes. You understand? Nobody can stop Josh Allen with Stephon Diggs. Nobody can stop Baker Mayfield with Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. with Chubb and Kareem Hunt in the backfield. Then I don't think there's any shame in that. And I'm not saying that that's what you were talking about in terms of shame. I'm just talking about this obligation that everybody wants to throw on Lamar Jackson's shoulders. Again, if football is the ultimate team sport, we're going to look for you for certain things. Like, for example, if you notice, remember when Kansas City came and they beat Houston in the AFC divisional playoff game?
Yep.
Houston was up either 17-0 or 24-0.
And then
it was
you
one
blinked.
or the other,
yeah.
right? And Kansas City scored 41 straight. You know what we were talking about the next day? Patrick Mahomes and how great he is and how pathetic Houston's defense looked in trying to stop him. Nobody mentioned a single word about Deshaun Watson, because guess what? That offense for Kansas City was so potent and so special, we said, damn. And I'm not saying that was the right position to take. I'm saying we said, damn, because Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City were just that unstoppable. I think when you're looking at Lamar Jackson, what you're going to ask yourself is, you're going to pay attention to Kansas City, you're going to pay attention to Cleveland, you're going to pay attention to Buffalo, and we're going to look at them. And we're going to say, excuse me, Ravens, for all intent and purposes, at best might be the 4th best team in the conference.
Well, but that's what I'm saying, Stephen A. That's because of the way Lamar Jackson is perceived. If you look at the relative strength of these teams, the Ravens are an excellent defensive team. The Ravens, by the way, had a great rushing attack, primarily because of Lamar Jackson and their scheme, and also because of a really good offensive line, which took a step back, and now they've tried to revamp, right? They brought in Villanueva. They did a couple things. And so the line should be better than it was, say, last year. And they brought in receivers for Lamar Jackson. No, they don't match up with the Chiefs' receivers. But Rashad Bateman is a very good all-around receiver, at least in college, and people have high hopes for him. And Sammy Watkins is a good guy to bring in. He's better than what they had. So I think if Lamar Jackson takes the next step, if we think of him differently, now you're thinking of the Ravens' relative strength differently. If you took all the quarterbacks off these teams I wouldn't look at the Bills and say, boy, they're better than the Ravens. But I think that's what you're talking about speaks to our perception shift, where Lamar was MVP, the sky's the limit, and then, wait a minute, can he win in the playoffs? Well, he can, but the offense isn't dynamic enough. He needs to be a better pocket passer and all that, where Josh Allen, who's never won an MVP, by the way, took a step forward in that regard. And my point is, now Lamar's got to take another step forward because getting bounced in the second round is not good enough for him. He's too talented. The team is too good.
I feel what you're saying. All I'm trying to say to you is this. He's an electrifying running back. That's why they have, listen, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, rushing the football as a quarterback. No quarterback in history has done that. The guy is special, and we get that. But throwing the football, they had the number one running attack and the very worst dead last passing attack in the National Football League. So what I'm saying is, if that's not the case this year, if they improve with their passing game, but then they run into the playoffs, and Lamar Jackson's thrown for over 300 yards, and he's completed 65% of his passes, Max, but damn it, that defense can't stop Patrick Mahomes, and they can't stop Odell Beckham Jr. and Baker Mayfield, or they can't stop the Buffalo Bills. I'm just saying that that's not a reason to look at Lamar Jackson.
I agree, of course, the details matter. The details, how they get there, matter. I'll say this. This ain't the Houston defense. If you put up 40 on this Ravens defense, I'd tip my cap.
Ding, ding, ding. Wrong. Houston wasn't Houston's defense when they went up against Mahomes. We never saw them look. Hold it. We never saw Houston get shellacked like that. 41 unanswered points.
Yeah.
Let me just
but
say,
Patrick Mahomes did that.
If Mahomes or anyone, Josh Allen, anyone puts up 30, 40 unanswered points on this Ravens defense, I will simply tip my cap. I don't see that happening.
You've already tipped. You've run out of caps to tip about Patrick Mahomes.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.